UFC Hall of Famer Frankie Edgar retired 3 years back after getting knocked out 3 times in a row, but now he is unretired and he is going to be competing in BKFC against another former UFC fighter in Jimmy Rivera. That is going to be taking place on October 4th. A lot of people not happy about this, don't want to see it because, like I mentioned before, 3 knockouts in a row to end his career. He's going to be around 44 when he does this fight with Jimmy Rivera. Not sure what the motivation is, if it's money motivated. In the UFC, he fought for a really long time and was very successful, so I think he was making pretty good money, and also he was a champion too, so he was also getting pay-per-view points for a portion of his career. Or maybe he just can't get enough of the thrill of competition and fighting and wants to try something new, just bored with his regular life. UFC fighter Lando Venata says, man, fighters really need to find an identity outside of the sport. I hate seeing this. No, Frankie, don't do it. Not the answer, Frankie. Not the answer. All for the bag, but it's a shame to see legends go in this direction. Surely he's got businesses and other things to keep him going. Some feel it's not money motivated. Frankie runs a hugely successful jiu-jitsu and MMA academy. I doubt it's for money, most likely a competitive itch. Frankie was making $500K plus a fight for like 10 fights in a row, not to mention pay-per-view points back in the day. BKFC is the UFC's 401K plan at this point. The contrarian point of view is, why are people mad? It's in Jersey. Let the man live his life. Crowd is going to go insane for him. Yeah, this will take place in Newark, New Jersey. Overall, the sentiment is that people don't like this. They're concerned about his safety. 44 years old, coming off 3 straight losses. Many feel that stepping into the BKFC world is going to be quite risky. His success in MMA was built on movement, wrestling, and stamina, and those tools aren't necessarily going to carry over to the BKFC world. And also, he can't take a shot like he once did. Back in the day, he could take several heavy shots and make a comeback, but now he's just putting himself in danger of taking unnecessary punishment. Some people feel this is like a unique thing for MMA and not seen in other sports. Fighting, gives these aging veterans opportunities in smaller promotions or like BKFC to come back well past their physical peak. And for many, it makes them feel like this is not like a comeback, like a return to glory for Edgar, but it's like a dangerous gamble with his long-term health. Also, it's not a sport or a game like bowling or golf. Like combat sports, you don't really play, and BKFC is quite a harsh sport, so it's not like he's returning to ping pong or something like that. But even though a lot of people don't want to see it, a lot of people will see it in Newark, New Jersey on October 4th. And tickets just went on sale today, so that's why this news came out. Frankie Edgar is a massive name in New Jersey, and he will sell a lot of tickets. The card is headlined by Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stevens, crowning the King of Violence, and the Queen of Violence fight, Faria versus Borga. While Jimmy Rivera versus Frankie Edgar may not be a colossal mismatch in the BKFC space, BKFC was criticized in the past for irresponsible matchmaking, which eventually led to a death when Justin Thornton took on Dylan Kleckler in 2021 at BKFC 20. Kleckler knocked out Thornton, and afterwards, Thornton suffered a severe spinal cord injury when his head hit the canvas after the KO. He was hospitalized and placed on a ventilator due to complications and eventually succumbed to the injuries. Once again, highlighting BKFC and combat sports in general is something you don't play. Can be some serious consequences. Hamza Chamay have just fought and beat DDP, but he wants to fight again in a couple months. He wants to fight at UFC 321 October 25th against RDR, and RDR is also down. He says send location. The location would be Abu Dhabi, the new home of Hamza Chamay. That 321 card could use another big fight. Right now, the top 2 fights are heavyweight fights between Aspinall and Gane for the heavyweight title, and Volkov versus Almeida for a #1 contender spot. Amavev and Bahayo are fighting next month, and people thought that the winner of that fight would get the next title shot against Hamza, but they probably won't want to turn around after fighting in September and then fight him in October, so that probably wouldn't happen. But RDR is down. Hamzat is down. The Abu Dhabi fans would be down, and most fans would be interested as well. While Hamzat would be a favorite against everyone in the middleweight division right now, some feel RDR poses some unique challenges that could make it interesting. He's got a long frame. He's a big guy. He's very dangerous off his back with submission, so it'll be interesting if Hamzat takes the approach with fighting RDR with less takedowns because of the threats coming from RDR off his back. It's kind of like when he fought Gilbert Burns. Hamzat was a little bit more reluctant to stay on the ground because Burns is so good with his jiu-jitsu off his back. And if that's the case in the RDR fight, that could make for an interesting dynamic, because then maybe the fight will be mostly striking and it could be kind of interesting. RDR throws a lot of knees, and they're very dangerous. Throws them to the body so well. Debilitated his last couple opponents, stopping Bo Nickel with those knees and putting Robert Whittaker in a precarious position when he landed some of those knees to Whittaker's body. Hamza Chamay also has a desire to strike it out with his opponents, and maybe he'll look at RDR and think that he's the guy that he could stand with. Maybe he has a better edge in the striking than he does have in the grappling. And also Armen Serukian, who was in the corner of Chimaev during the DDP fight, says that Hamza was asking him before the third round if he can box a little now. Despite the request, Serukian advised against it and said there's no need to change a winning strategy. Everything's working. Don't reinvent anything now. The strategy paid off. Hamza won a unanimous decision. Some people may have liked if he just decided to throw caution to the wind and start striking with DDP, but that would have been a bad idea, and he stuck to the game plan and it worked. 50-44 on all the scorecards. That resulted in 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time, which is pretty insane amount of control time in a 25-minute fight. Despite all that control time, credit to DDP, never gave up. Still managed to get 53 seconds of control time towards the end of the fight, trying to pull off a miracle finish. Didn't happen, but with all that control time from Hamza and really not much of a threat of a finish during the fight, a lot of people were bored during that 25 minutes of action. But one of the harshest critics of that fight style is Demetrius Johnson. He says, if you don't like watching wrestling and grappling, don't watch. Others fire back at him and say, if you don't like people's opinion, don't go on social media. But any narrative saying that Hamza is a boring fighter is just not true. That happened to be not a great fight compared to some of his others, but he's a very entertaining fighter. DDP is a very entertaining fighter. Sometimes you put two entertaining fighters together and they produce a bit of a dud, and that's just what happened this time.
If you guys don't want to watch grappling and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, don't watch UFC. Don't. You guys are complaining about something that it's a very simple problem to fix. It's a very simple problem to fix. For example, let's say Hamza's about to fight again. You don't want to watch his style. All you gotta do is go like this. You see this button right here? It's called off button. You go like this. You go off. You don't have to see Hamza wrestle. It's a very simple problem to have. It's a very simple problem to fix, guys. You guys are making it a bigger deal than it is.
With Hamza Chamayev's big win over the weekend, he made a huge leap in the pound-for-pound rankings. He moved up 10 spots to number 4 position in the pound-for-pound rankings. After the loss, DDP drops a lot. He drops 7 spots to number 11 now. Pantoja drops 1 spot. Hamza moves up ahead of him. Some people feel Pantoja is being disrespected here. Hamza should be underneath Pantoja, but this is what the top 5 is: Ilya, Islam, Marab, Hamzat, Alexandre, Pantoja. Hamza did just win the belt, and Pantoja has 4 title defenses, so some feel that Pantoja is being disrespected here. Michael Venom Page now enters the middleweight rankings in the number 10 position after beating Jared Cannonier, who drops 2 spots to number 11. Now Page is ranked in 2 divisions, middleweight and welterweight. Interestingly, he's higher ranked in middleweight now. He's number 10 at 185, and he's number 15 at 170, but he has a desire to continue up the ladder at 170 as opposed to 185. And after his knockout victory over the weekend over Aaron Pico, Lerone Murphy moves up 2 spots in the featherweight rankings to the number 4 position, and Volkanovski is down to fight him for the title in December. Lerone Murphy is also down, so maybe that headlines the December pay-per-view. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want to donate, you can via Super Thanks and have your comment featured using the Super Thanks feature.